everybody, and welcome to Star Wars on High. Thank you for stopping by. We are back with my review of Episode 4 of Ahsoka, and as I predicted, based on how last week's episode ended, this is easily one of the best pieces of Star Wars to ever exist, ever. And I mean it. It had to be, really. It's the halfway point in a very important series, so it needed to have some big hitter moments, and it delivered in ways that I would only think of in my head. We pick up back on the surface of Cetos. The ship is damaged, and Hu Yang is hard at work repairing it when we get interrupted by Morgan's HK droids. And the action just doesn't stop from there, it just keeps going. This episode is non-stop action and stress, and I loved it. With Hu Yang saying that he will fix the ship, he asks Sabine and Ahsoka to please stay together as they both head off into the forest to stop Morgan from completing her hyperspace calculations. While this is going on, we move over to a scene that left me speechless and wanting to just scream and jump up and down full of excitement. We get this gorgeous shot of the New Republic fleet looking like a perfect remastered shot of the Rebel fleet from Return of the Jedi, but it just looks so good. And it gets better. Hera has had enough of being told no, so she loads up the Ghost with Jason and Chopper and heads out with a few X-Wings to make their way towards Cetos. I can't explain to you how much I love this scene. The Ghost just looks incredible, and seeing it in live action with the fleet is just amazing, especially since it's the center of attention. And I love seeing Carson Teva joining alongside as well. The fight is ramping up and it's going to be incredible. Meanwhile, back on Cetos, the final calculations are coming together. The Eye of Sion is in place, and with the star map they begin mapping their route to Peridia. But before Ahsoka and Sabine can do anything about it, they have to have their rematch with Shin and Marrok. Now, this was a fight I was really eager to see for a few reasons, mainly because I wanted to see if I was right about my Marrok predictions, and I was 100% correct. Marrok was going to be dispatched with no real effort from Ahsoka's part. This fight was very much on the same level as the final fight between Maul and Obi-Wan. Over in an instant, I knew Marrok would die this way, but what I wasn't expecting was for him to be full of Night Sister magic. Now, of course, I probably could have connected those dots, but this was a big shock and something really interesting to see. Now, we didn't linger on it too much, so there's really no way to know just yet who exactly Marrok is, but maybe we'll get an answer to that. On the other side of things, Sabine is struggling a bit with Shin, but is still holding her own better than last time. But I'll admit, I was stressed during this fight. They really don't have to let anyone survive in this show. Anyone could be killed at any point, so I wasn't sure what would happen. But this is the reason that I love that Sabine is not Force sensitive. She even attempts to use the Force in a fake out with Shin, and it almost works, but instead uses her Mandalorian gear to gain advantage and escape from Shin. And we're still not done there. Ahsoka has another fight to take on as she must defeat Baylan and remove the star map before calculations can be completed. Here we get the dialogue from the trailer we saw earlier with Baylan mentioning that he knew Anakin and how he always spoke highly of Ahsoka. But Ahsoka won't let Baylan into her head and the duel commences. Baylan's style is very basic in a lot of ways, and he fights very much like Vader, using his size as intimidation along with brute force swings from his lightsaber. Ahsoka is able to grab the star maps, stopping the calculations with a few seconds to spare, but Shin shows back up, leading Ahsoka to believe that Sabine is dead, and we see Ahsoka lash out a bit because of this, using the Force to throw Shin headfirst into one of the pillars around the map. Thankfully, Sabine is not dead and shows up just in time to hold the map hostage. Baylan isn't fazed at all, though, and defeats Ahsoka, using his saber to knock her off the edge of the cliff. He then uses this to his advantage, manipulating Sabine by saying he knows she wants to find Ezra, and if she gives him the map, he promises no harm will come to her, and she'll be able to see Ezra again. Sabine gives in to the temptation, but not without fighting it, but ends up handing the map to Baylan. But Shin doesn't seem to be happy with this at all, and attempts to force choke Sabine, but Baylan wants to stick true to his word and makes Shin release her. Shin is feeling a lot of conflict, I believe. It's almost as if she's completely unbalanced and isn't sure what side she should be on. But I also think she's worried that Baylan will replace her without a second thought, and that's why she hates Sabine so much at this moment. I almost feel like Shin is worried that Baylan may give up her for Sabine, even though Sabine has no Force abilities, and I think that's going to make Shin a lot more angry, thinking that her master would pick someone with less power over her. Regardless, Sabine is still taken hostage, and the three of them come aboard the Eye of Sion. Hera and the rest of her squad make their approach to the Eye in hopes of stopping it before their jump to lightspeed. Morgan, however, pays it no mind, making the jump and causing a massive EMP burst to knock out all of the power in the New Republic fighters, causing X-Wings to crash into each other in the process. And unfortunately now, Thrawn's return is imminent. But we're still not done though, because what about Ahsoka? Well, this is the part where I get to admit that I was wrong, but only halfway. Before, I said that we would not be seeing the world between worlds in Ahsoka, mainly because people think it's going to be used for retconning and, well, they just don't understand the function of the world between worlds. Anyway, we meet up with Ahsoka, who looks like she's just laying in stardust, and ends up waking up on a bridge in the world between worlds. I will say, in live action, it looks absolutely gorgeous and mysterious, exactly as I would have liked it to be created. But wait, there's more, and we knew it was coming. It was only a matter of time. We hear from over Ahsoka's shoulder, "Hello, Snips." And there he is, Hayden Christensen, back as Anakin Skywalker, giving us one hell of an episode. This is now probably my favorite episode of Star Wars ever. It was created so well, and we got so many great surprises in this episode. The fights on Cetos were awesome, and I love that I was at least right about Merrick, I hate how that name is pronounced, and his role in the story. I love learning more about Baylan, and I really want to see what Shin is going to decide on by the end of the show. I'm still unsure as to where her loyalties are. Again, seeing the New Republic fleet really did it for me. I remember thinking almost instantly, oh man, Eckhart's Ladder is going to love this. And I'm sure he's probably already posted a video regarding those shots, as I would expect him to. We're probably going to be seeing Thrawn next week. He will most likely appear at the very end of next week's episode if I had to guess, and we're going to 100% be seeing brand new territory in Star Wars, and this is exciting. Lastly, seeing Anakin again was tremendous, and since Dave is directing next week's episode and it's going to be shown in theaters, we're going to get more within the world between worlds, and I think it's going to be Anakin passing on some teaching to Ahsoka before she comes back to the real world. Now, to address the elephant in the room, yes, the de-aging does look strange. He almost looks like a Final Fantasy character, but he's also dead by this point and looks like a Force ghost in some of the shots, so it's kind of whatever to me. I'm fine with it, honestly. Overall, just a banger of an episode, no question about it. I loved everything about it, and I really hope that the momentum keeps up where it's at because I am loving this show. There were a lot of cool moments in the episode, but what was your favorite? Do you think we'll be seeing Thrawn next week? How long is Anakin going to stick around, and is Shin going to stay loyal to Baylan? Let us know all of your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you to everyone who stuck around to this point in the video, and we hope to see you again very soon.